This is a story about my brother Ron. I'm born April 23rd, 1952. Ron's born April 26th, 1953. So we're very close in years. He's passed on to heaven, but he and I were really, really close being raised up. He would call me hamburger. I would call him hot dog. I was a bit more on the chubby side. He's more on the lean side and very tall, like my dad. My dad's 6'3". Ron was almost 6'3". But as kids coming up, he was always very, 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 very bright, very smart. I had to work hard at everything. He had to work hard at almost nothing because books, intelligence, all that was like second nature for him. I couldn't believe it. Where I had to really work hard to get a C, he could just do almost nothing and get an A. So that's how life is. But when I was going to go on the road with a band called Deacon Williams and the Soul Revival, there were some white cats out of Fresno coming through Kalamazoo, Michigan. I had my last test at Western Michigan University of the third semester. It had just finished. I went back to my dorm. I'm thinking, what am I going to get into? I had my drums in my dormitory. They were packed up. And a school bus pulled up, and it was a band in the school bus called Deacon Williams and the Soul Revival. And they said, "We've heard about you." I said, "You heard about me?" And I said, "Yeah, we heard about you, and we come to pick you up and see you come and jam with us and join and play with us." I said, "Really?" They said, "Yeah, we want to go out and play in Flint and Ypsilanti and play around some places in Michigan, and then head on out to the coast of California." I said, "Okay." I put my things in the bus. And as it worked out, we started playing in Kalamazoo, Michigan first, at a club on the north side of Kalamazoo, and we played there for a while. And the band was funky. These boys, it was Larry on guitar, and that was Deacon's brother Larry, and Deacon was a bass player, and he had like a little growth, and he could play funky and he could sing funky. It's like, and they loved Sly and the Family Stone. Then they had this cat who's blind on organ. And they had a girl named Karen, I think her name was, on sax singing, Karen on. So I don't know, they were kind of really cool, and they could draw an audience. So even in Kalamazoo, Michigan, here all of a sudden we were drawing an audience. And we kind of went on the road a bit, and I brought Ron along for a little bit of it. And then as we left town on the bus, Deacon says, "Have you ever tried Purple Haze?" I go, "Purple Haze, the song by Jimi Hendrix?" You go, "Well, no, there's some stuff out now. You kind of take it. It's like a drug in a way, but it's called Purple Haze." I go, "Really?" So they all took this drug called Purple Haze. And we're out in this field, and we all took this thing. I have no idea what it is. It's my first time trying this thing. And there are a bunch of tricycles out in the woods and whatever. And it's kind of fun. Everyone's having a good time. And it's a lot of fun. But then guess what happens? I start thinking I'm away from home. I'm out here with my brother Ron, and I trigger that I'm not around my normal settings. I'm not around. And in fact, I'm actually responsible for my brother Ron now if anything went wrong. And I kind of get into a bit of a headspace that's not good. And I go into the bus to go lay down. And my brother Ron comes in the bus. He goes, Are you okay? I go, "I'm having a vision of being sick in the hospital, and Mom and Dad have to come to the hospital. I'm not feeling very well." So my brother Ron says, "You're fine." He kind of talks me down, and I'm okay. But I remember that was not a good experience on Purple Haze. My first time out having acid. My brother Ron had to kind of coax me down. My second experience, we finally get out to California. We're playing some clubs in California. We go down to a beach in Malibu. In the beach in Malibu is a bunch of hippies on the beach. And they're running around on fire, they're having a good time. And by the coast of the ocean is beautiful. And we're so happy to be in California from Michigan. And we're asked to take a thing called window pane. It's like a little thing that big, a little clear piece of plastic, it looks like, a piece of paper, window pane. And you take it, and you feel really good. Okay, so then my brother Ron is so creative. He takes this piece of wood, like a staff, this long, down by the ocean. And like Moses says to the ocean, "Red." And all the waves of the ocean are coming in red. And he'll say, "Orange." And all the waves of the ocean come in looking orange. "Yellow." And all the waves of the ocean come in looking yellow. "Purple." And all the waves of the ocean come in looking purple. And I can't believe what I'm seeing. Every color of the rainbow that he called with that staff, I'm vividly seeing the ocean turn that color. And I'm saying, this is a hell of a drug. That whatever he's saying, I am seeing clear. And we fell in love with that. Can't believe our imaginations are so crystal clear on whatever is going on, we're seeing it. I'll never in my life forget that. I'll never in my life forget that. Here's a story about the Bundle Boys. The Bundle Boys and the Bundle family are a very rich family, rich in spirit, rich in soul, rich in integrity, out of Michigan. The oldest Bundle is Steve Bundle. He was the fastest runner in all of Michigan. Speed, demon. The brother Dirk is like more my age, a little older than me. He could throw 10 baskets out of 10 and make baskets. Then come Mark, then come Scotty, and then come these beautiful girls they have. But they're a very rich heart family. They moved to California, two of them. Steve and Dirk got a place in California. When I was out in California around the same time, there they were, boom. And you go by their house, and they could have beautiful herb, and you'd always hear the good war music of Slipping in the Darkness or whatever War was putting out of that time. And it was always a good vibe with Dirk and Steve and the Bundle Boys, just to lay that out. At this time, I'm very much struggling to make it as a musician in California, in LA. And I joined what's called the music registry, where you pay a little bit of money you have to ask them who is looking for a drummer, who are the bands that are making money, you can join that band. I'd be about 18, 19 years old. The Deacon Williams, the Soul Revival, that band broke up, so now I'm stuck in LA trying to find a band to play with. And I joined this registry, and I find out about a guy named Greg Fell. Greg Fell was another guitar player. He and I hook up. We do pretty well together. We kind of find this other band that needs a drummer and a guitar player. We kind of join them, and their singer is a really quite good guy, like would be reminiscent of the Doors type of singer, of a Jim Morrison type singer. And because of him, we play some songs, and we get an audition for the Rolling Stones manager. So we go to the concert venue, which would be like somewhere in a nice home, a nice joint. I remember going in there, and there were like a lot of it's like an East Indian vibe with all the carpets hanging down from the ceiling and a big stage, big PA, and a packed audience for this band where the Stones manager is going to be for us to play for him. And before I go on the stage, I'm asked, do I want to take a hit of a joint? I think, sure, a joint is no big deal. Take a little hit of a joint. And that's fine. I end up taking one or two hits. I walk on the stage. We're playing Billy Preston's I'm playing the drums. I'm noticing if I hit the tom-tom, boom. It's a little delay. Boom. There's a little delay now and then when I'm playing, what I'm hearing. That's not right, but it kind of continues. Then the singer comes out. Now we're doing a song with him, who's like a Jim Morrison type guy, for his audition for the Rolling Stones manager. And now my timing's off from what I'm hearing when I'm playing by this thing I smoked. And it's not good, because I'm getting to a place, I'm getting freaked out because I can know that something's not right. And if you're me and I'm the singer looked back at me like this. And I'm doing my best to play and hang on, because I know I've done something that's not good. And when the song ends, I stand up and say, peace be with everyone, and I barely struggle to the side of the stage and go down the little stairway and collapse on the floor. That's how sick I was. And when I come to, it's a beautiful angel girl holding my head, and she has long hair, and she's touching my head, and she's making me feel better. And when I open my eyes, she's so beautiful. But then I hear, I'm gonna kill that nigger! I go, is that lead singer? He's mad at me. So then, my guests that night were the Bundle Boys, my friends from Michigan who were out in California. They say, Michael, I was Michael then, I wasn't even Narada. Michael, get up, come with us. This guy wants to fight. We gotta put you in the truck and the car and get you out of here. So I come to my senses, and they grab me, and the Bundle Boys save my life. And they drive me back to Pasadena, where I was staying with my cousin, Art Hackley, at Art Hackley's house in Pasadena in Kenneloa Canyon. And they saved my life, because that guy wanted to stomp me for messing up his audition with a Rolling Stones manager. And that's when I realized that me and drugs did not get along very well. This will be my last drug story. At my cousin Art Hackley's house in Kenneloa Canyon, Pasadena, where I stayed. I was so lucky. He gave me a place to stay. I would cook for him. I would clean for him. I would clean the pool. I'd make his dinners, and he gave me a room to sleep in and a room to shed in. This is about the same time as I heard the Mahavishnu Orchestra, Inner Mounting Flame, in downtown Pasadena. Had enough money to buy that album. Was blown away like everybody else by Billy Cobham. What he was playing on them damn drums with John McLaughlin, the Mahavishnu, and Jan Hammer and Jerry Goodman and Rick Laird. It was phenomenal what they had tapped into from Eastern philosophy, Eastern music, Indian Eastern music, merged with jazz, blues, soul, pop, rock on steroids, coming at you. I had that album. I could afford one more album of Alice Coltrane's Universal Consciousness. I also had Ravel's Pavane. I also had bought previously Buddy Miles Live, the double album, with a piece called Joe Tex, with Buddy Miles playing with Charlie Carp on guitar. He was 16 years old. And those cats, and they were mean. So from Mahavishnu Orchestra, Inner Mounting Flame, Buddy Miles with Charlie Carp and that great band he had, the double album of him doing Down by the River, the live version of Buddy was crazy. Ravel's Pavane for Dead Princess is so gorgeous. And Alice Coltrane's Universal Consciousness, where on the inside of the album, she would discuss to you what inspired her to write these different pieces. One called Sita Ram. And she would explain, if you say this word 1,000 times, you could have an enlightenment. Or she would go into what would inspire her, going down the Ganges River with Swami Satchidananda. That was her guru that inspired her. And she'd be playing the organ and the harp, and she wrote the strings, but who arranged the strings would be Ornette Coleman. So it'd be really beautiful, beautiful, again, Eastern-inspired music. I also had a book at that time called Raja Yoga. And Raja Yoga was about how to breathe. And my friend Joseph Powell gave me this book. Joseph Powell was another great person who played piano and wrote songs in Hollywood for, inspiring new artists. And he took me under his wing when I was struggling really hard in California. It's hard to meet somebody to come up with it, to make it. So he gave me that book, Raja Yoga. It was very inspirational for me at that time. So also at this time, I'm taking all this good music in, and I'm by myself, up in the woods on the hill, and I decide, let me just take a moment and relax and take this little window pane I've got. So I took a little window pane. I happened to have it, and I went and sat on the front lawn, and I meditated for a long time. And as I meditated on the front lawn, I'd be about maybe 19, early 19, and I could hear the birds so beautifully in the trees. And I decided to walk around where the big tree was and just watch these birds sing in this tree. And I became mesmerized by these birds singing in this tree and the sunlight coming through the branches and all the rays of the light coming through the tree. And on this drug, everything became crystallized. You could see every little thing so clearly. And the sound of the bird was magnified. So you heard his song so clearly. And it imprinted my soul. And I remember telling God, I don't want this to ever end. It's so beautiful. And then I could hear God say to me, now that you've experienced it, you can always remember it. It will always be with you. You don't have to ever forget this experience. once you come back down, you can remember this experience for your whole life through. Then I got happy again, thinking that I didn't have to stay high on this drug. I could keep this memory, keep this vision with me in a normal state. And it was true. Years and years later, I was asked by a great conductor for the Oakland Symphony, Maestro Michael Morgan, to write a symphony for the Oakland Symphony. And I said, I'd love to. And I went to my piano and I channeled that experience of what I experienced seeing the sunlight come through the tree and hearing those birds so crystal clear. And I wrote a symphony of 7 movements in 45 minutes called The Enchanted Forest. And I recorded it on a cassette player. And as it worked out, it didn't record. So I had to go back and redo it again. And it all came back again. All 7 movements came back to me. And I recorded it all again. Because that's how vivid that experience was to me that I had had. It was burned on my spirit. I could just talk about it all over again and visualize it all over again. So out of that experience, I was able to write a symphony, The Enchanted Forest. I want you all to hear it when you can. My brother Carlos Santana, he came to play guitar on 3 movements. We played that thing live in Oakland on 2 nights. And my girl Mina, with the Magic Orchestra, she was the one who took my piano and my tape and transcribed it for me for all of my parts that I was hearing, for them to all play it. And I'm telling you, I'm so glad that God's given me these experiences in my life that I can use as fodder. I can use as inspiration when I need them. I don't have to trip on drugs anymore. I don't do drugs anymore at all. I haven't for years and years and years. Couldn't do it now. I'm just too responsible with children and whatever. But back early on in my life, I can draw from that now.